Okay, welcome to the September 7th, 2021 meeting of the Clark County Fire District 6 Board of Commissioners. And I would ask you, Casey, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Any additions to the agenda?
Not here.
Okay. Read and approve the minutes of the August 17th regular meeting.
Move for approval and present as posted, or post as necessary.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Says correspondence in folder. Mr. Secretary, do you?
I don't see any in the folder.
I don't either.
I didn't see it.
Okay. Citizens communication, this is the time during our meeting we set aside for any District 6 citizens that may want to address the board. Since we're on YouTube, there's a place that you can put in comments or questions, and Chief Schmidt will be monitoring that during the meeting. If you have any questions, go ahead and put it in that chat session. So, committee reports, there are none. Call your attention to the consent agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you. Chief's report. At this point, I think that our new mechanic is here, and he probably doesn't want to stay for the whole meeting. So, Brad, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and how things are going after your first week or whatever, we're going to let you go.
Yeah, sure. So I grew up in Southern Oregon, a little town called Riddle, just south of Roseburg. Family, dad, grandpa, everybody was mechanics, so came up in the logging industry. Worked for a large logging outfit right out of high school, and worked myself into a kind of a one-man show, if you will, for a very respectable logger down there for almost 10 years. And then got some friends from Tualatin Valley and moved up here. So just to work for the fire service, and I've been for Tualatin Valley for a little over 10 years. And then decided to come here because you guys were willing to have me. So I've been married for 25 years, have one son that's going to be a senior in college, and he's going to Oregon State. So
Go Bees.
yeah, super honored to be here.
You have a lot of certificates, I know. What all do you have? Can you show it with us?
I have the EVTs, not a master tech, but I have aerial, pump test, design and performance. I think I have 6 out of the 8 that are aerial. Been to multiple classes, and air conditioning, brakes, just all kinds of different stuff. Currently going to try to get some ASEs for the automotive stuff, but yeah, looking forward to further my education in all this fire service.
And you're well versed with Pierce, I understand.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I've been pretty much all my fire career has been in Pierce. I've been to the factory, done inspections on new rigs, and took a tour of the whole place.
You might be doing that again.
Yeah, to see how they go through the whole process. It gives me a new respect for when they come and they're screwed up a little bit.
Good.
So there's a lot going on there. So.
Well, I know Chris knows you well, Casey.
I was just curious, have you been involved in the specification of apparatus as well?
I've never been on the committee, but answered multiple questions and done research, and build new apparatus. And then when we went back, I was back there for a week doing an inspection on 2 brand new rigs, and changed multiple things, mechanically to just make the mechanic's job easier. Moving little brackets and all that. So, but as far as like the paperwork part of it, no, just the information part of it.
Have you had a chance to review the ones that District 6 has got on order?
No, I have not.
I understand it's a little bit different, so I was just curious.
Oh yeah, no.
Leisure reading, if you have a chance to take a look at that.
Yeah.
Your spare time.
Yeah, I've been trying to wait for a few minutes for him to get a little bit of downtime.
Yeah,
so I can sit
breathe,
down and go through it.
Well,
Well, thank you for having me.
downtime.
If I might, so Brad and I are working together. He's fitting in perfectly into the team with Andre and Pat, and we're getting him out as much as we can to get him introduced to the crews. We've had some got sidelined with our schedules, but we are very excited. He's very well equipped and set up for the job, and he's got a great spirit, and he's got great ideas about stuff, and I mean, he's just taken us to that level that we have been wanting to get to, and I couldn't be more excited, and I know the rest of the team that's working directly with him is totally on board, so we're glad you're here a lot. Really glad.
Thanks for coming tonight.
Hey, Chris goes good. Chris
Yeah,
goes good.
absolutely.
Thank you for being here tonight. There's nothing else. Feel free to get home to mom.
Okay, well, I appreciate you.
Well, yeah, we're really glad to have you on board.
Yeah,
Really
thank you
glad.
guys for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
You betcha.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
Take care.
Okay, personnel action report.
Personnel action report. We have currently 3 members off duty with injuries. We did, as of September 1st, hit some kind of landmark times for different employees. We have Eric Semica reached 24 years in the fire service, or 24 years of service here, excuse me. Dave Fisher, 21 years of service. Travis Dick with 15 years. Tracy Wood with 15 years. Ethan Altman with 15 years. Chris Bottomley with 8 years. Brandon Frank, 8 years. Chris Grant with 5 years. Dave Schmidt, 2 years of service. And Josh Matter received his bachelor's degree this month. So some nice milestones there for sure.
Congratulations to all of them.
That's a good word to ask my question. Since we're on personnel, sort of, and we don't have a safety report, could you give us a little update on the accident?
Yeah, so I'll have a more thorough report for you next meeting,
Okay.
but we did have an accident that injured 2 members. It was during some training. They were doing some vent inter search training, so they had a ladder up to the 2nd floor of the tower, and were laddering that building to simulate a search inside the bedroom, basically, using a window. They had the ladder at a really flat angle in order to kind of facilitate the easy ingress and egress of that window. You know, we haven't thoroughly investigated this yet, but you know, the initial findings appear to be that the person footing that ladder kind of changed position, which with the weight on the tip and the shallow angle created it to fall, lose traction, because you know, with those real shallow ladder angles, you need like a good surface to butt that ladder, so some grass or some landscaping or whatever is on concrete. So the ladder slid out and twisted, so the person fell from the window, and then also the person healing the ladder was on the underside, doing an underside strong position of healing, and took the ladder to the ankle and fractured their ankle. The person who actually fell remarkably had no injuries other than just some deep bruising,
Sore.
being banged up a little bit. Yeah, so
Okay.
that person's going to be off for a little bit, but should return to work fairly soon. And then the other one's, I think, going to require some ankle surgery. So that's gonna
Did that
happen.
ladder have rubber feet on it?
No,
Was
none of
that
our ladders
pivot?
have. They all have butt spurs on the bottom, so
Okay.
it's a hard
So
fixed
rounded?
metal surface.
No, they're paused.
Yeah,
Pause.
yeah, 2 hard surfaces. So it doesn't do well with concrete at a shallow angle. So that's one of the things we'll address through the safety committee.
And I saw that was taken out of service.
Yeah, for inspection, the ladder was, and all the equipment the firefighter was wearing. So as far as his helmet and SCBA equipment, because he was wearing a full ensemble at the time. So that's all being inspected.
Do we still have Carlson test our ladders?
No, we don't. We have,
Doesn't matter.
NHS. We have a firm that comes in. They're actually scheduled for this month.
But they weight test them all and certify them, and X-ray certify them, or whatever I do.
So we will push this through the, investigation process.
Sure.
We'll come up with probably some training that's going to need to happen surrounding using the tower and, shallow ladder angles and that sort of thing to try to ensure that this doesn't happen again. One kind of bright spot has been our employees reaching out to the rebound surface, and that turnaround time has just really been phenomenal. So it's
Good.
an L&I injury, and we have surgery scheduled about
Already?
days later.
Wow.
Great. So it's pretty incredible,
That is incredible.
work that they're doing for us. So that's been
Good.
yeah,
Worth
worth
the
it
money.
for sure. Very good.
Just
Thank you.
to expedite one or two of them will pay for
We'll give
it.
them our best, because we all felt it when they heard it go down. It's like, this is not good. So I'm glad that we got an update in a timely manner as well, so thanks to the chief for that. We don't want to bother anybody, but we did want to know.
Thank you, sir. Facilities update report.
There's no report, but Chief Newberry and Chief Schmidt will be meeting with the county on September 9th to discuss the project. Anything else to add?
It's just our pre-construction meeting. It goes, it's basically gonna answer a bunch of our questions that we have, as to what kind of standard we have to go to on certain things, and it'll just create some clarity for us to continue through the planning process.
Is this a meeting that we're gonna talk about the shop not having it? Okay. Good luck, hopefully, cross our fingers. That's a big one.
Yes, sir.
Did we ever get, they were testing, doing some structural testing, did we ever get the results back on that, or we?
It's coming in a full report that goes straight to the architect and engineers.
Okay.
So, yes, that testing was done. We have a few temporary holes in the walls that we're waiting for the mason to come back in and fill. And that information will help the architect and engineer determine if there's any additional reinforcement that needs to be done to the buildings.
Okay. Go ahead, yeah. Any other questions for Chief Newberry?
Back to the masonry guy coming to fill them, wasn't it an option to leave them open in case we move forward? And then they wouldn't need them to be filled because they were gonna be reconstructed?
Well, these are prisms that are, it's basically a hole in the walls this big. So, I suppose there could be an option that we would wait through the winter with holes in the walls, but I'm not sure that we want to.
Okay.
And the cost is negligible.
Okay.
And those holes basically, they go over the wall with a machine that sees where the rebar is, so they make sure that there's rebar in it. And then they take sections of the wall out that doesn't have rebar in it to test compressive strength, just like we do with a pour from the concrete that we pour out. Anyway,
Yeah, break the cylinders.
yeah, and that's what that is for. That isn't necessarily where we would put reinforcements. It just is a kind of a, not random, but semi-random location in a wall to test the different building materials.
It seemed like when we talked about it, there was an option not to do it if we chose to go forward, that we wouldn't have to put a Band-Aid on this area that we cut out.
The option is, we do want to fill the wall back in. The option is whether or not we finish the wall, whether we put sheetrock back on it, or tag board, or wallpaper.
Right.
Those are the things that we'll forego, not spend the money to finish those surfaces until the remodel.
Thank you for clarifying that. I knew there was something.
Yep. You
Not to bring it all the way back.
That was it.
Like, okay, man, don't bring it all the way back.
No.
Anything else for Chief Newberry?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Old business, public meetings. Let Chief Ruffle talk to us about that.
Public meetings, I don't have that in my.
Oh, calendar of events?
Well, no, the last meeting that we had, we were talking about, was there any changes to where we couldn't have the meeting open to the public?
Gotcha.
And if we did, what sort of precautions we needed to take?
Yes, thank
And
you.
I think Chief Meyer was looking into that, but I don't know.
Yeah, so we are allowed to still hold open public meetings. Any public space, though, there is a mask mandate, so as we are today, we're masking. I have not seen any like group guidelines as far as a group too large, or they're allowing people in college stadiums and stuff like that now. So I think we'll be okay just as long as when in the public spaces we mask.
So basically, we're open public meeting, we just ask people to wear masks and we're okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
We're not verifying vaccination or anything like that.
I don't think we have to.
I was just curious. I got mine screenshotted on my favorites on my phone. I don't even know if that's
Well,
acceptable.
if you go to a
I think
CCAP
it is in
meeting,
places.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, like concerts and stuff, who knows?
Yep.
Good, everybody good?
Yep.
Long-term health care.
Yeah, so a few weeks back, Chief Maurer presented an option of using Allstate to cover the long-term healthcare mandate that will take effect January 1st of 22. That option was closed before we could get in. They weren't accepting any other clients. Essentially, if personnel don't secure some type of long-term personnel coverage before the opt-out deadline, then they'll be taxed through payroll. The district does not have to provide the plan, only inform the members. So the attempt was to provide employees with an easy plan. A memo has been sent out to all personnel explaining the process.
I think we all got that memo, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was very nice of the district, you know, to inform them that they don't have to get roped into the state program. My understanding is if you get out of the state program and you move out of the state, it travels with you. If you don't, it stays here. Even if before you're vested, it still stays here. So it's
Yeah,
nice
and the
to-
Oregon residents, I think, will just be on their own to seek a program that works and meets.
So is
qualifications.
it the district's responsibility to verify that, or is the state's?
I think it's the individual's responsibility to provide proof for the opt-out.
For the
The
state.
opt-out, I think just to payroll. I think we can just provide that proof to payroll. Now, they may ask, our payroll for the opt-out proof, but they have the process fairly well outlined, so I think we'll be able to, with Tina's help, keep out of trouble there.
Well, I think the issue is far from being dead. I think it's gonna be in the legislature for some action. This session, we'll see.
I hope so.
It's not,
There's a lot of things messed up.
$32,000 a year. 10 years ago when my mom was an assistant, that wouldn't even pay a year. So I'm not sure what's going on, but anyway.
The money grab.
More to come. Anything else?
Stay tuned.
Any other old business? The engines have been ordered, I assume? We're doing a
Engines have
budget.
been ordered.
Budget thing?
Their estimated arrival date is October 2022.
Oh, really?
So about a year from next month.
Okay. So Brad will keep everything together till then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. New business, we need a budget resolution to cover those apparatus.
Yeah.
And.
What number's that?
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9. And,
There it is.
if you have questions about the money transfer, either Chief Russell or Secretary Taylor, I'm sure can.
From what I read, it was, we have the money, it was just not on the right line item.
Yeah, that's what I read as well.
Is that right?
Just changing the amount.
Sure. So with that, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2021-05, revise 2021 finals fire suppression budget as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen. McKinsey Service Agreement. Anything you want to tell us about that, Chief?
So we originally contracted with McKinsey to do Station 61 remodel when we began all the projects. After we received the cost for Station 62 and 63, we pulled the 61 project from the scope. Now we need to officially reopen that contract with them for the work. It's really a formality, but does exceed the chief's threshold. The total already accounted for the building cost estimate for McKinsey's services is $150,600, and the interface engineering is $48,000. Total contract expenditures are $198,600, and if the board agrees with the contract, we can submit it to McKinsey tomorrow.
Quick question for you or Chief Newberry. The drawing that's included in this shows an addition to the shop. Is that an alternate bid or?
Well, we're not to that point in the process yet.
Okay.
If, as far as McKinsey's fees are concerned, if they do not design that, then we don't pay for that, correct?
Okay, that was exactly going to be my question. Thank you, sir. Commissioner Pfeiffer?
I will add one thing though. We're already at 60% drawings, so it's not like what we've already designed, they're already going to get paid for. But
Sure.
if we decided not to go to that, if the scope changes between the 60% and 100%, then that would be pulled out.
Any additional questions, gentlemen?
I think we have to go the distance on this. I mean, we can decide later.
Right.
proceed or not to proceed, but to hold up now would be remiss.
So we need a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen. Training tower railing.
Yeah, the training tower needs some additional railing on the roof of the structure. The railing's been purchased but not installed. It's a complicated process. Chief Newberry could probably talk more about it if you have specific questions on the installation, but the project is more than Andre or Pat are qualified to complete. So Chief Newberry asked 2KG to complete the project as a part of the Station 63 project. And they have provided a quote there in Dropbox number 11.
Chief Newberry was the original manufacturer, the ones that provided the railing, or do we source it locally?
No, we purchased it through the original manufacturer who contracts with a company called Wildeck, and they sent it.
Is there any challenges with additional permitting from the county that we incurred last time?
No. So this handrail, for whatever reason, is not required on all structures throughout the country. L&I, however, has different rules, and this handrailing will be required on our structure. It had to be ordered after the fact because it wasn't included in the original pack, and it's there, and we've had a hard time finding a contractor available this summer to install it. And 2KG now is finished with some of their Portland Public Schools work that they've had. And so they have provided a proposal that is on time and material basis. It could be more, it could be less. It really comes down to if they have to do any fabrication or altering of the handrails, which they did have to do quite a bit of, obviously, in the tower. And so they were very hesitant to give us a proposal because they just didn't know what they were getting into.
Totally agree.
I mean, they know better than anybody what they're getting into, but they still couldn't forecast it. So we did it on a time and materials basis and hoping for the best.
They could have given you a number, but you wouldn't have liked it.
They did give me a number, and I didn't want
They
to.
didn't like it, so that's good. So
Yeah.
you know, not to exceed. I don't know if they can do that.
No,
Or not.
I don't even want to go there. I said I'm going to just pretend like you didn't send me that, and we'll meet out there and talk about this in more detail. So
Well,
it was shocking.
Time and material is more than fair.
Yeah, I would agree.
right, but especially if you could put a not to exceed clause in there, like based on their original bid.
If we get anywhere near that original bid,
Okay.
I'll be putting skids on
Well,
it.
it wouldn't take much to add that in then. It seemed like if you did the time and material based on what you know, and then not to exceed this extreme number that they gave you in the first place, is kind of a safety net for us.
It's about a week's project. I'll know quickly if it's getting out of hand, and then I'll put the skids on it if we need to.
Well, probably not gonna. You don't say, well, in the middle of a horse race, you're gonna get it done.
Well, we've gone this long without it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
know, I'm just
already
saying-
have the railing and everything?
Yeah,
Okay.
the railing's
It's
outside.
just not uncommon to do a time and material not to exceed.
The only reason I'm even hesitant about doing it is that they want to start work on Monday, and I don't know how to get this back in front of you for signature.
Don't worry about it. Okay, thank you though. Yeah.
I believe Chief Russell is authorized to sign that on behalf of Chief Howard Riders or something.
Chief,
Something the board
Is
signed.
it?
either Chief Schmidt or Chief Russell are either authorized to do it.
Okay,
Well, it sounds like timing is of the essence.
so we need a motion.
Make a motion to approve the tower handrail addition, total amount of $12,570.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So
Thank
moved.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No
for
executive
doing
session.
research.
Oh, new business. I think we have to approve the chief's employment agreement that changed.
Yeah, there's a
Didn't
change to
get there.
that.
There was a change.
What line is that we're looking at?
Number 12.
Number 12.
It's a change in the take-home vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, her previous contract stated that if she lived out of state, she'd get a vehicle allowance, and she's moving to Washington State starting this month. Perfect. We wanted to alter her agreement.
So we need a motion.
Make a motion to approve the changes in the fire chief's employment agreement.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Any other new business? Aaron, any new business? How's the new house? How's the new house?
It's great.
Perfect. I said I'd throw that in there, you know, lighten things up a little bit. How's the commute? No. Okay, no exact, roundtable good of order. What do we got, gentlemen, or staff?
Just for good of the order, I mean, I thought that those generators in North Salmon Creek were at high risk, and then we see the locks were cut at Legacy. They stole the generator for the backup area
For the tent.
of the tent at 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. I was like, I was just mentioning they're clearing Delta Park out for the Portland Grand Prix, and they are coming this way. Because I've had nothing but troubles, more so lately, and they have to go somewhere, and there's just, you gotta be vigilant out there with all of our stuff and everything else. Extra eyes and ears certainly never hurt. So anyway,
Station 3 is fairly secure.
yeah, that's good. So I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm always like, just be vigilant. You never know what you're gonna get.
The Southwest Washington Fire Commissioners meeting that's scheduled,
16th, right?
they only have 6 people that responded saying they're gonna attend. And if we don't get closer to 20, we're not gonna do it.
Okay.
So Larry Bartell was gonna get on the horn and start calling and seeing if people are coming, they just failed to
Are we on the list?
register.
Yeah.
All 3 of us
We're
are.
probably 3 of the
Well,
6.
we weren't, but
We were?
we are now.
Oh, I thought we were.
3 of us and a chief.
I got it on the calendar. That's 4. That's good.
So
Okay.
not even all the Clarkford commissioners say that. So
Hmm.
anyway, we'll have to wait and see.
You'll let us know if you hear back?
Yeah, Larry.
Thank you.
Any additional roundtable good of order? Hearing none, we need to authorize payment of current bills, pre-authorizational transmittal, authorized monthly commissioner compensation.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, time out. Bubba would be